Hey, what's up, guys? Rob here, and I'm back with a brand new series. Now, this is not my idea. This idea comes from Julie, Let's Talk About Movies Cassidy. Definitely go subscribe to her. If you're not subscribed, you need to because she has awesome content, awesome ideas, and just stuff that I never even thought of. She puts out videos a lot, and yeah, she's just very, very nice, and she's very good at what she does. So, um, yeah, I got this idea from her. All the credit goes to her. Where I thought it was interesting to kind of talk about the movies that I watched during the week. So start with let's say Monday, and then go through Sunday, and on Sunday night make a video on what I watched the whole week. So yeah, I thought that was very, very interesting, and I wanted to do that. So this video is going to cover September 21st, Monday, through today, September 27th, Sunday. By the time you see this video, it'll probably be the 28th, Monday. But nevertheless, I'm just going to show you guys what I watched during the week. Now, I tried to keep it strictly horror, but, because of the Halloween season approaching, uh, I I couldn't really do that because sometimes I needed to laugh. Sometimes I just wanted that nostalgic feeling, watching like an older movie or something, uh, superheroes or whatever it is. I just threw a couple random titles in here, so just to kind of mix it up. But I did watch at least two movies a day, and I do most of that at night anyway. But yeah, this should be interesting. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'm gonna try to keep this a weekly thing. See what happens. So, all right. So let's start with Monday, the 21st of September. I watched The Hunt, which reminds me of a horror movie version of The Hunger Games. That's what this reminds me of. It's a lot of fun. I love the humor. I love, the kills. Betty Gilpin and Hilary Swank have this awesome fight, and it was just I don't know. The dialogue was very well done. It was entertaining. It really was. I think, but the humor is really what set it off, in my opinion. I'm going to review this in depth, coming up. I believe this was on my list for the Halloween season, but nevertheless, I watched it. So watched that on Monday, and I also watched Your Next. And I've seen this film probably twice, since I bought it, and it just reminds me of an '80s throwback. It just the music just reminded me of '80s, and then this badass chick who just doesn't take crap. This is not like your typical home invasion film. This is not like The Strangers at all. Strangers, they had no motive. They just went there because they were home. In this movie, there's something deeper going on. There is a motive, and what I like about these killers is that they're trained professionals, even when they meet up with this badass chick who they shouldn't have messed with. Um, I don't know. That just kind of changes everything. But I like the weapons they use, and yeah. So, very, very awesome movie. If you have not seen Your Next, definitely check it out. So that was Monday. Moving on to Tuesday, the 22nd of September. I needed a good laugh, and this movie is hilarious. Okay, this is the end. Now, directed by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. Now, Seth Rogen pretty much uses the same people in his movies, much like Adam Sandler uses the same people in his movies. But you got a huge cast: James Franco, Jonah Hill, Seth Rogen, Danny McBride, Craig Robinson, Michael Cera, Emma Watson. You even got Kevin Hart's in this for like a little bit, and yeah, there's just so many people that pop up. Like a couple of singers, like the Backstreet Boys appear in it. Um, I believe Channing Tatum shows up in this one little part during the third act. He shows up. Yeah, just Paul Rudd. He shows up. There's just so many people that show up in this movie, but the effects are so good in this. I could not believe. I'm not even sure what the budget to this movie was, but it looked phenomenal. Okay, especially in the third act with this big, huge demon. The creatures looked really good. So for what they did it was amazing, for the budget they had. So this is the end. I watched that on Tuesday, and then I followed that up with a little Evil Dead remake. I don't understand what people's problem with this movie is. I really don't get it. So what? Bruce Campbell's not in it. I mean, he has that little cameo at the end. So what? I mean, you have the stupid kid who reads from the book, even though he knows you're not supposed to read from the book, and he goes ahead and reads from the book like a dumbass. But I mean, other than that, I thought the main chick did a very good job. I really believed when she was like afraid and talking like I felt kind of bad for her, but the effects were so good. They were practical blood and gore effects. Um, Sam Raimi and even Bruce Campbell had their hands in this to make it kind of unique and classic at the same time, like it used to be. Not so much like CGI crap. But I really enjoyed it. I don't know. There are people who just really don't like it, and I don't know. I don't get it. So that was Tuesday. Now we're moving on to Wednesday, the 23rd of September, and like I said, I needed some nostalgia in my life, and since I'm on this like toy hunting kick, I thought I would, watch a couple of live action um, movies that are based on, the old toys or the cartoons from the 80s. So the first one here is Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren and Frank Langella. This movie's awesome. I don't care what anybody says. It's cheesy. I love the music. Dolph Lundgren is perfect as He-Man. Frank Langella is perfect as Skeletor. I mean, this movie used to scare me when I watched it when I was kind of younger. When Skeletor he has that like gold armor. That used to scare the hell out of me. I don't know why. It just the way he looks. He looks so menacing, but this has really really good music. It's got Meg Foster's Evil Lynn. I didn't even know she played Evil Lynn, Meg Foster. I know Evil Lynn was in it, but Bill Conti did the music to this. I could not believe that. But you got Courtney Cox, and then she was very young. Very good movie. I'm sorry. It's full of nostalgia. I'm a huge He-Man fan. I love He-Man and Masters of the Universe. So, yeah. I watched that, and then I followed that up with G.I. Joe: The Rise of Cobra. And I like this movie. I think this movie was well done for a G.I. Joe movie. Um, Was it cheesy? Yeah. It was it was like a popcorn action flick. That's what it reminded me of. Maybe even like a mindless action flick. But it was GI Joe characters, some of the characters that I grew up with because I grew up with GI Joes and Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, Duke, you know, Cobra Commander. I like the story of Cobra Commander. What was his name that played I remember what was his name that played Cobra Commander? Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He did a great job as Cobra Commander. But you got a lot of stars in this too. Sienna Miller is in this. You got Channing Tatum, Marlon Wayans, Dennis Quaid. Music by Alan Silvestri and Stephen Summers directed it. I thought they did a good job. I think they could have done. They probably could have done better, but for what they have here, I felt like the costumes were pretty much accurate and the characters were well represented. Even though technically Cobra Commander didn't really show up in his getup until the very end, and neither did Destro. Um, but whatever, I think they were banking on a good sequel, but that just never really happened the way they wanted to. But anyway, GI Joe: Rise of Cobra, I like it. So that was a fun day. Moving on to Thursday, the 24th of September. Went with a little action and a movie that I used to watch when I was younger. But first, Rambo: Last Blood. I needed to watch this again because I don't know, like it's so good. Again, this is a movie that got panned by critics. Like people didn't really care for it. They were disappointed. I for one was disappointed when I first saw his look. Um, but as I watched the film, I'm like, it's definitely Rambo. Like I don't care if he has long hair or not. The way he was acting, he was acting like Rambo. So I like the whole thing with the cartels. People call it like Home Alone, like an R-rated Home Alone. Like whatever. Like he sets traps. Rambo sets traps. Like so what? He did in the other movies too. So Rambo Last Blood, really really like it. Now here's a movie you might not have heard of, and it came out I believe in '86, and it has real gymnasts in it. But they did such a good job. Mitch Gaylord, who's actually I don't know if he's a professional gymnast. Um, but I'm not really sure. Oh, he's a four-time Olympic medalist, Mitch Gaylord. You got Janet Jones, who's actually a dancer. Uh, yeah, Alan Silvestri did the music to this, and it's called American Anthem. Now, this is a movie that I recommend to you guys. I cannot recommend this enough. This is such a good movie about a guy who wants to. He's got all this talent, but because of his family life, he kind of quit things, and he goes back to the gym and he tries to um, prove himself that he can do it. And it shows you like what the gymnasts have to go through, how strong you have to be, and how much you have to practice. The coach in this was the um, guy from Rocky Four. He's been in other movies too, like Halloween Four. Um, but the coach, Ivan Drago's coach from Rocky Four, whatever he hits, he destroys. Ugh! That guy. He plays the coach in this, and he is very good. But I want to say the music. It is so 80s. I mean, if you're used to 80s music and 80s soundtracks, you're gonna like this. This movie has just great music, and it also makes me tear up at the end during um, the Olympic gold, the medalist competitions that they have, the gymnast competitions or whatever. Um, very very good. I don't know. I can't recommend this enough. If you guys can find this, this is part of the Warner Brothers Archive collection. It is not on Blu-ray yet, as far as I know, but you can actually, you can watch this. I'm not even sure if this is even on like Prime. It might be on Prime Video. I don't know. But yeah, if you can get your hands on this or even watch it, check it out. That's a recommendation. Okay, so moving on to Friday, the 25th of September, we have 1 Hour Photo with Robin Williams, rest in peace. Fantastic movie. I've never seen him in anything like this. He plays such a good part. A guy who's kind of missing something in his life, like he's missing a family. He does these people's pictures and he sees that they've, grown up through the years looking at the pictures and he feels like he's a part of their family. And then he witnesses something going on in the family and he feels like it's his duty to kind of exploit them. It's it takes a nasty turn, but very, very well done. Honestly, very. Robin Williams is kind of creepy in this, but you can also feel for him. You really do. So, 1 Hour Photo. Another one, and this is a great thriller with Dustin Hoffman, Sharon Stone, and Samuel Jackson, and that is Sphere. I remember seeing this in the theater. Um, Great movie. They're underwater. They discover this spacecraft that's down in the ocean. They go in the spacecraft and they discover this sphere, and the sphere is kind of alien-like and stuff like that. Things start to go wrong underwater in this facility that's underwater. Kind of a creepy movie, but God, it's so good. It is so good. All three of these guys do an amazing job. So, Sphere. Moving on to Saturday, the 26th of September, I went with a little Schwarzenegger, End of Days. Great movie. This is as close as you're going to get to a Schwarzenegger horror film. Much like Stallone in ICU, this is, I guess you could consider the Terminator. The Terminator, the very first one, is almost like a horror film. I mean, it's a very dark, gritty, violent movie. Um, but this is no exception. I mean, this is gory, it's action packed, and it's very dark. It's great. But this is the movie where Arnold fights the devil, literally fights the devil. Um, who played the devil again? Gabriel Byrne, yeah. Kevin Pollak is in this. Robin Tooney, very very good one. I don't remember who did the music. The music was great. John Debney did the music. Great movie. If you have not seen it, I definitely recommend it. The other one I watched is Macaulay Culkin in The Good Son. Another great movie with Elijah Wood. They're both young in this movie, and it's about Elijah Wood goes to visit Macaulay Culkin and his family. I believe they're cousins, and he stays with them for a while, and he notices that um, Macaulay Culkin's character starts doing bad things, and Elijah Wood sees all this, and it starts to get worse. Like it's almost like he discovers a different side of him. He plays a kid named Henry. He discovers that Henry's doing these things that aren't good, and he feels like he should tell somebody, but then at the same time, Henry kind of threatens him in a way. You think if I let you go, you think you can fly? You know, things like that. Um, Very good movie. The third act, the ending to this is it's so controversial. I mean, I felt so bad for what's her name, Wendy Crewson. She was also in the Santa Claus. Uh, Wendy Crewson had to make a decision at the very end of this movie. I'm not going to spoil it, but she has she has a decision to make whether to do something on this side or do something on this side, and she has to make a decision. And I felt so bad for her in that moment because that would be hard. Um, Even though all the stuff that's going on, very very good movie, love it. Okay, so today, Sunday, the 27th of September, I watched The Ring. Naomi Watts. You got Brian Cox in this. Very, very creepy film. I would say, a lot of people say, well, the Japanese Ringu is scarier. I saw the Japanese Ringu. I thought it was kind of creepy, but I still like this one better. Um, there's just something about the American version that it's the cinematography, it's the music, it's the characters. I think it was executed a lot better. That's just my opinion. I remember seeing this first time at the theater, and I could not stop thinking about that well. I could not stop thinking about that image right there with the trees. I actually got a place a block away from where I live in the cemetery down by this forest area where there is the well doesn't look like that, but it is like a sewer well. And you can open the top of it and it's a freaking well. You know, I have that not too far away from here. So whenever I think of this movie, all I thought about was down there. Like, am I going to see something come out of there and come to my house? Like, I hope not. This movie did creep me out. I mean, it still does to this day. I think it holds up very well. And it's the best one out of the series. I know that. So the last one that I watched, I had to indulge myself because I freaking love this movie. This is a masterpiece. It's also on Tubi, if you guys got Tubi. But I got so many different versions of this movie because it's my favorite, and it is The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1974, the classic masterpiece, the best in the series, in my opinion. Toby Hooper outdid himself here. It's such a gritty, violent. I freaking love it. Everything about this movie. I have this knife. It's a good knife. You can pay me now. $2. It's a good picture. Sally! You ever been by the slaughterhouse? My father used to work there. That's your daddy's place, huh? Yeah, my father owns it. You guys don't want to go mess around in no house. Anyway, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, yeah, like I said, a masterpiece. My favorite horror movie of all time is The Shining. The Stanley Kubrick, The Shining. This this is definitely my top five. I freaking love it. So there you go. that is my weekly watch, okay? And again, shout out to Julie Cassidy. Definitely go subscribe to her, go check her out. And I'll be back next Sunday to show you guys what I watched that whole week. And like I said, I'm going to try to keep this a weekly thing. I'm going to try to keep up with it. And just something new for the channel, kind of a new series I think you'd enjoy. So anyway, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.